Hello guys, welcome. I just want to show you how to create a login dashboard. So it's not going to really be fancy, it's just something very, very basic so that you can learn from it. So we're going to be creating some components which is needed, and I want you to learn from it. And yeah, so let's get started. So all what I've actually done here is to pick a frame, and you can use that shortcut F and pick any of the desktop you want. So I've picked the frame already, and I just wrote dashboard sign up and then centralize it into the middle. So the next thing that I always love to do is to set my layers grid. So let me just do it from scratch so that you can learn from it. So I love to pick a column of 12 because I'm also a designer, and I really know how it works in front end. So there's no need of me putting a margin here. It's not needed because I just want everything to be centralized. So I think this will do, and yeah, this is okay. So let's move on to the next process. So the next thing is should go to so the next thing is to go to Pinterest or wherever you like to get inspiration from. So I personally love Pinterest, and I love Dribble a lot. So no matter where you go to, all what you just need is creativity, not to really copy. So you can even copy the idea, but try as much as possible to change something there. So all what you want to do is just very, very simple, very, very basic thing. So let's look for a moderate login to use. So I can actually say lots here. I can say lots. So I will actually go for, perhaps let's check this out. Okay, I don't want this because I want some consistency in the design I'm doing. So let's check this out. Yeah, this one is much more better. This one is much more better. So let's see. We're only copying this part. We're not adding this one because we want to structuralize what we are doing. So I will go for this. This is looking awesome. This is looking so awesome. I love the animation itself. So let's go. So yeah, let's go back. Since we're creating it for only a user, like just for an admin, the owner of this app. So we're not going to do something fancy at all. So let's change that to medium and this to 40. Yeah, and then let's centralize it. So you can change it back to regular. And then let's use Roboto. Okay, so this is much more better, and yeah, we are free to go. And there's no logo for this app, so we're not going to include the logo there. We're going to include this and then this. So let's include a kind of small text below, small text. So I just pick my text tool with T and then I dragged. So I can come to this part, go to plugins and Upsum. So auto generate. So if you have been following what I've been doing since all these days, I really like using this plugin a lot because I'm not a content designer. I'm not a content creator writer. I'm working as a UI designer here, so I don't really have to struggle for getting content on this. So I'll just put a random text there. So yeah, this is okay and this is looking good by me. You can always come back to refactor anything you want to do, like to redesign anything you want to do. So you can centralize this, yeah, this to centralize. So this is good already. So you can create AutoLayout for this to make it much more easier and name it as header. And then let's go back. So here we have email, we have password, um, we have email, and then we have password. We're not going to be doing the animation though. So let's look for another one that is much more easier because I don't want to waste your time. let's go for something like this. Yeah. So the name is on top and the name is on top. So let's go and do that exactly. So the first thing is let's pick our test tool and put a test. So we want it to be left aligned. So we can change the size and whatever we want to change later on. But this is good to go. Yeah. So next thing is for us to pick our frame tool F, and then I draw a frame around there. So these are like our inputs. So the next thing is I always like to put a fill to it and then an effect. So let's use effects instead of stroke. We can actually apply stroke too, but here we can just be creative. So I can spread it. So spread is for spreading the box shadow, the shadow. So I want it to be very very small. We can increase this and then and blow it out. So also we can reduce this box shadow to something like this. Let me remove the column grid. So you can actually see how it's looking like already. It's actually showing that there's supposed to be something there. So instead of me putting the stroke there, I'm actually putting a kind of box shadow. So it's making it look kind of special. So that's actually what I actually want from that, which is already giving me the vibes already. So the next thing is for us to put a kind of placeholder there. You can see enter your name. So yeah, let's apply that. So you pick your text tool with T, or you come to this side and then you drag. So yeah, enter your name. Yeah, and then centralize it using this. So this is already looking good. But if you come to these layer parts, you can actually see that it's not inside the frame that I want it to be. So we can drag it down and then rename this one as input. Yeah, so that is making more sense. So then I can drag only the text to inside. So actually have like something like a border inside of it. And this our frame is too much, so we can honestly drag it a little bit smaller, and also our text too. That is looking much more better. Here, here. So now we can change this one to probably medium or semi bold. Yeah, and then enter your name, or perhaps if it's email, sorry, enter your email. Yeah, email is the best. So email. Or what I always love to do is just to put a kind of sample of how it should look like, which is like something like this. So Adams at gmail.com. So this is looking okay already. So what I always do most times is to create components for these inputs. So in your own project, perhaps you can actually have a lot of inputs depending on what you need it for. So I can probably want to use this again, and I may actually want to use it again. But most times I just create it as a component and drop it inside a component frame. So for here I won't be doing that because I'm just doing it for just this part alone. So let's go to the next part. Okay, let me create a component already. So or I can right click and create a component. You see component there, right click, create component, or I use option command and key. That's for Mac. I don't know how it works on Windows. So that's how you go about it. So I can rename this as input slash email. I'll tell you the reason why I'm naming it like that. So the next thing for us to do is we can create an auto layout for this using Shift A, or you right click and then create auto layout. So if you want to know the shortcuts for all these things, you can always check it when you right click and then you see it. For example, this is auto layout, you can see it here. Remove auto layout, so this is the shortcut here. So that's how I know about the shortcut. So this is looking okay for now. Then we can drag it down to create a password input. So you can change this one to password, and then this we have to kind of change it to. So that's how I'm telling you that you will definitely have inputs for a lot of things. So this is for test, and then this is for password. So it works differently, like totally differently. So how can we create for this? There are a lot of ways you can change this placeholder to something like this to show that it's password, which is fine. Definitely you can use dots, you can create a kind of circle and then create auto layouts for them. But for me, this is looking good already. This is looking awesome already. So let me detach my auto layouts, right click and then detach instance, because I want to put a kind of hide and show here. So that's what I want to do. So the next thing I want to do is just to grab my to right click on it and then go to plugins, then go to iconify. So iconify is actually a plugin that I use. So and then I search for show. So you can see there's show, there's that, there's a lot of things. I like this one, it's looking cool. So I can drag it here, you can see how it works, and then I can also kind of look for hide too, but I think that would be okay. I will look for a way to kind of draw a line around it. So I can drag it into where I want. Yeah, I can drag it to where I want. I kind of place it very well where I really want it to be. So it's centralized like this, which is very good inside of this password. Um, so what I always want like to do is to drag this like this so that there will be a spacing between them, and then I already have my input for password. So I can name this as input slash password. Yeah, so I will tell you this one I'm using slash in a minute. I want to change this one to icon to slash show. I'll tell you the reason I'm doing that. So I can create a component for this. So when I create a component for this, I actually want to create another one for hide. So I can also create another one for hide. How will I do that? Let me right click and detach instance. So I will look for my R to create a kind of rectangle which will show height. I can make it longer, then make it thinner, and then I can slant it too, and then put it here. Yeah. So I can put it inside my icon because it's already part of the icon now. Yeah. So you can actually see that it's kind of creating um, task clip content, which I really love. That will help me. So I can change the color of this to black. I can do that by picking this, even though I want to change the color very soon. So I can, the width can go to the 2. No, let's make it, let's reduce this, no, this is fine. Let's, let me just, yeah. So this is much more better. And let's place it in the middle. So we're already having a kind of height for this, which is making it kind of cool. Let's place it in the middle very well. Yeah. So this is fine already. So let's create components for these two. Let's name this first as height. So yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So the next thing I want to do is to have a variant, because when you want to click on this show, I want it to change to this. So let's create for this. So input, we can drag it out. All these I always create it in another part, like entirely another part. So all what I want to do now, so this is where the magic lies. The reason I'm naming these things as icon hide and icon show is this. So if I go to this parts, to this show, you can actually come here and then pick hide. So you can see how it names it. It names it with first one icon and the second one as show. So I can toggle through and then it changes it. So that's awesome. That's why I like Figma. So the next thing for us to do is then we can change this one to maybe like Shagun, or no, let me use Adam Smith. Yeah, so calculator chair or something. So this is making more sense. So now let's create components for this. So and I will rename this one as password height, and then this one to password show. Yeah, password show. So now if I click the two, now, so let me create the components for this using shortcut, or you right click and then create the component. So you have created components for these two, input, password, and these two. So the next thing is to click the both and then combine as variants. So now, as I combine it as variants, it has definitely given me a way forward. So password show and password hide. So we see where the magic will lie very soon. So now we are still going to work on the prototype. So, but for now, let me just drag my components out of where we are designing. Let me just put it here on top. So, and then I can make good use of it here. So I can delete this and then um, I can press my shift I to bring this up. Go to my um, I can go to my frame 4. I'll just rename that and then pick input. So yeah, I've already taken one already, which is my input. So that works very fine. Or I come here to drag it and put it here. But now this works very fine. So that's how to create password. So the next thing for us to just create is let's create um, a button. So that will be very, very simple. Let's toggle our login again, create a frame. And name it as button, and then create the text around it, and then name it as login to dashboard. Yeah, login to dashboard. So we put inside our frame and then change the color of this. Put a frame around it and then we want the color of maybe this, and then we want this one to be white. Yeah, so that's awesome. The best way to do this is centralize this like this. Let's break both and let's change it to 20. So yeah, this look awesome. Just that our frame is too big, extremely big. And then let's centralize this one again. So yeah, that looks good. Then we can always put a kind of curve around it, corner radius of 5. Same thing applies to this part too. So I can right click, go to the main component. So I've actually taught you a lot of things in this tutorial. So I want you guys to like my videos, um, subscribe to it, and then check on my other tutorials. Yeah, so now we actually have this there already, which is awesome. I don't really like how big it is, so I'm just trying to make it. So yeah, log into dashboard. That's very simple. But to me, it's actually looking too big, too extremely big. So I can create AutoLayout for this too and name it as fun. I like renaming my files, like all of my layers to be well cleaned. Though there is a plugin for that too. But if you have a good this thing idea of renaming, why not rename it when you have the chance? So I can centralize this very well. Put it in the middle and this put it in the middle too. So these two we can have a lot of settings for this. Change it to 32, make it bold, semi bold. I don't really want it to be. Okay. So guys, this is all for this tutorial. I want you to subscribe to it and follow me on all my platforms. You go to my Twitter, you go to my Instagram, my LinkedIn account. We'll be talking about how to prototype this in math class. Thank you.